Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Not My Shop. We're here at the Watch JR Go warehouse with my current daily driver, my 2000 Honda Insight. For those of you who are new to the channel, you probably haven't seen a video on this car before. This is the first hybrid that was sold here in America. It beat the first gen Prius by, I think, 4 months. And notably, it's one of very few hybrids available here in the US with a manual transmission. And I bought this for $1,000 a few years ago, and it returns me a decent 55 miles a gallon with Honda reliability. So today we're gonna fix it. Right, so the car actually runs and drives okay, but we've got a check engine light and a couple little annoying issues. One of them is a nasty engine vibration. It's had pretty much the whole time I've had it. Pretty sure the culprit is this thing right here. This is the rear motor mount, also known as a torque mount. The engine basically sits on two motor mounts on either side and swings between them, and this controls that forward and back torquing motion. Now, these have been NLA for quite some time, but there's a guy on eBay who will take used ones, cut out the rubber, pour in new rubber molding to the correct factory durometer, and you get these refurbished for like $60. So we're gonna put that in. Apparently that's kind of a pain. I have a P0420, which is a catalytic converter error, which is probably because my car does not have the primary cat. But on a car this old with 230,000 miles, I mean, I'm an environmentalist, but I'm pretty sure this thing has amortized its environmental impact at this point, and it's not a cruise ship, so frankly, I don't care. So I have this spark plug defouler, which has a little bit of catalyst built into it, so hopefully we can get the light to turn off for that. The other error I have is actually a VTEC error. So this car is kind of cool because not only does it have hybrid assist, but it also has VTEC. So as you climb up the revs, you'll get a bump from the hybrid assist and then you'll get a bump from the VTEC at 4,000 RPM. But if the car has, say someone doesn't change the oil for 10,000 miles, the VTEC spool valve can get a little bit gummed up, which I think might be what happened here. So it's right there on the front of the engine, and just to be safe, I actually pulled one off of my parts car, and we're going to take it apart and kind of clean it up, because these test out fine electrically. The Honda parts manual, the repair manual for this car is second to none. It has repair procedures. It told me, you know, how many ohms should be on this connector to ground, how many ohms should be across this and from each terminal to ground, how many volts you should be seeing at it, which is battery. It's super cool. There's also like how many PSI of oil pressure you should see here. I wasn't able to do the pressure test, but electrically it all checks out, so I'm pretty sure that the car is just seeing the occasional issue with the solenoid engaging fully, probably because there's some crud in it. So we're gonna take it apart. We're gonna take that one apart and clean it, take mine off, clean it, put whichever one looks better back in the car, and change the oil. So I've got some Mobil 1 0 20, basically water. You can try drinking this. I don't advise it though. High mileage. Yeah, I think this is what I put in it last time. Whatever. I guess let's get this thing up in the air, because everything we need to do is underneath for the most part. I've actually never been under this car on a lift, only like lying on my back, so I've never really gotten a good overview of everything under here. And so this thing was towed behind an RV. It had a tow bar on the front of it, for those of you who weren't there like 2 years ago when I got this. So this has way more than the 220,000 miles on the chassis that it says on the odometer. Did I just call it chassis? Wow. So I'm pretty, like, this thing must have been maintained all right, because like none of these bushings are completely hashed. Like this, there's no way that's original. It's about to need replacement again, but it's definitely not original. It's dry under here. The problem is that I can see all this. This car is supposed to have full underbody panels here, and I've actually ordered an aluminum replacement for this. I'll need to re-get, there's like these funny sort of airplane wing shaped ones that are all aerodynamic that go right here. I'll need to get those. But apparently, like on the highway, that's good for, the difference between having it and not having it is 10 miles per gallon, above 60 miles an hour. So I'm going, that'll pay for itself. It's $175 for the aluminum panel. Here's the mount that needs replaced. That's Not as trashed as I expected, but it's still pretty bad. The two on the top kind of need replaced as well, so I might buy those, but those are a lot easier to get a hold of. And the O2 bung is just way down here. As you can see, there aren't actually any cats. And apparently the rear suspension's been serviced at some points, because these shocks go bad all the dang time.
They're Honda shocks.
I've never gotten to do that. Yeah, I think this thing was dealership service for sure. Anything that's, I mean, these cars don't really rust because the chassis is aluminum, but the suspension components, just a little bit of surface rust here and there. Overall, pretty good. One thing to watch out for is the, let's see, the metal sections of the fuel line, which I'm not entirely sure where those are. Those will rust. Brake lines are fine. It's pretty darn good. There's the exhaust for the vent for the battery. It exhausts through there. It actually pulls from somewhere up here. Composite fuel tank. You're actually supposed to drop this to service the sending unit, which is ridiculous because you can get to it from the top with no issues. And links need replaced. I wonder if O'Reilly's has those. Oh, just that one needs replaced. Man, everything else is super solid. Like one end link and then the top hats. What a car. Honda spent millions of dollars developing this thing, and it was built alongside the Acura NSX, and the only factory that could handle a full aluminum car like this. And you can tell that it was built by nerds. This thing's amazing, and it drives like $1 million. According to the internet, this is kind of a pain, but I think that's usually assuming that you have factory exhaust. Turns out when there's nothing in the way,
it's like a 1 second job.
Yeah, it's just a 17mm, and that's everything. And then we can just, yep. Oh no. Oh, we're gonna die.
Dude, that was so close.
That was, did that hit the cell tower?
I wouldn't doubt that that did hit right behind the building.
Look at that. And it's out of there. I'd go from the top. And yeah. Now you're thinking with your dipstick.
Thinking with your dipstick, Jimmer!
Yeah, just like that.
There you go. Fixed the whole thing.
Fixed it. Car done.
Wait. The big one goes up front? You sure? Big one here? Big one up front.
I'm going with big one. Neither makes sense, but I think that came from up front. Yep, apparently. Nice and shiny. Yep.
Monsoon.
It's doing Kansas stuff.
Big drops. All right, Jake. Go out there and run around.
Nah, I'm good. Oh yeah, that is nice and clean now. It's neat. It's got a little finger to keep it from spinning in between these two guys here. So I'll actually have to back the bolt out a bit and run it into the nut instead of spinning the nut onto the bolt. But that's no biggie. I actually don't need that many hands because once I get it started, the little finger there will keep it from rotating. And there we go. What a cool system, and also just Milwaukee. Your ratchets, I love them. Got my O2 sensor out of here, and this thing's actually fairly fresh. The whiteness is because this car actually runs at a 22:1 air-fuel ratio when cruising on the highway. It's called lean burn. As a result, everything looks very lean. So we're just gonna thread our off-road only race car accessory on here and follow it up with the O2 sensor, and hopefully we will have check engine light no more. Well, even less check engine light once I replace that spool valve. Oh, and I need to drain the oil. We'll get there. Okay, let's see what our oil looks like. Huge thanks to whoever changed this last. It was very easy to get the bolt undone. It was me, I changed it last. Oh, I didn't take the oil cap off. Dang it, I'm stupid. Yeah, that's about as dark as it gets though. Oh, I'm sorry, car. No gas smell, nothing concerning, just dirty. Here is my other spool valve. This is the housing with the, let's see, that would be the pressure sender. And then this is the solenoid on its plate here. I don't have replacements for these gaskets, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna have to hope that this doesn't leak when I stick it all together. There's a plunger and a spring, so that goes together. Spring first, and then the plunger goes in. There we go, like that. And then I will want to put a little bit of oil in there to kind of pre-lube that. You can kind of see the way that it moves up and down. That opens a little valve right here. And I think pressure is applied through here. There's a little trap there. So you can see this one has been in clean oil. Nothing stuck in there. I don't quite know how this works. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. So then this goes on there with a couple bolts and Bob's your uncle. So I'm going to put the spool valve back together while that's draining. And then we'll be ready to go up top. Oh, I should probably show the O2 sensor situation. So we got our off-road accessory and the O2 sensor, and it's all good to go. This shouldn't abrade too much. This moves with this because it's all attached to the engine, so I think that's all fairly solid. Clearance is a little sketchy, but hey, we're good. That was a whole lot of threads I had to bury in here. This thing was warm by the time I was done. Those threads were kind of caked up. That's another problem with these is stuff in the exhaust gets kind of dirty in these because the EGTs don't get hot enough to self-clean stuff. Kind of a problem. Your primary O2 sensor will get dirty and fail prematurely because it's not getting hot enough to burn off all the crud. What a weird problem you have on these cars. Shiny new oil filter. Plug tightened up. Everything's good down here. Time to head up top, fill her up with oil, and see to that spool valve, which I have reassembled over here. Gonna pour a little oil in there just to pre-lubricate it before I stick it on. And hopefully we'll be good to go. I've owned this thing for like 20,000 miles. It's the first time I've really gotten under it. It's spool valve time. So let's see, I think this is 310s. There's one way down there, one right there between the dipstick and the wiring harness, and one tucked up in there. Let's see if I can show them with a socket. So there's one there like that. Then there's one right there, like that. And there's one that I definitely cannot get to without an extension and like 3 hands. Something to keep in mind, all of these are different sizes, so keep track of which one goes where. I really want there to be some sort of smoking gun with this as well, so I'm hoping that there's just all kinds of crap in there. And out it comes. Oh, look at that, it's got mud in it.
Beautiful. That probably is the reason it didn't work.
We need some BG up in here.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I just grabbed a paper towel. Sir, why is there sand in my VTEC solenoid? Look at that. You can see where I wiped it out. It's not metallic or anything, it's just gross. So I'm going to take this apart, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be using the other one because with how much cleaner it is, I'm far more confident in its ability to work. And also I'm a little concerned that all that crap made it into my VTEC solenoid, and gosh, where else do you think that could have gotten? Well, we're here at the awesome little Aussie man, and we took this thing apart, and yeah, it's just kind of dark, nasty oil. It was completely full of it, kind of sludged in there. I'm gonna change the oil in 3,000 miles. Look at that. The problem was, this is a car my wife was driving. I didn't really realize how many miles she was putting on it. I didn't expect 10,000 in a year, frankly. So yeah, I'll clean this up and keep this one for parts, but we're gonna put the other one in there because who knows what kind of secrets are lurking in here. Ugh, look at that. Gross. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. A little bit of contact cleaner. Oil time. I think these take 3 quarts. Let's see here. Oh, 0W20 just pours like water. One thing you need to be careful of is not overfilling this, or you will cause the same problem I was just trying to solve. Dang it, I need a rag. So because I'm very smart, I was putting oil in it, and I stepped away to go grab a paper towel and came back, wiped it off. It just needed a little splash more. So I gave it a little splash more and forgot that the funnel I was using doesn't lock into the valve cover. So it just did a backflip off the back of the engine. Now there's a half a quart of oil on my exhaust, but we're going to go ahead and check our DTCs. There should be 2 probably, a PO 420 or 421 and a 1259 for the VVT. And yep, there we go. PO 420 and a P1249. So we're going to clear both of those codes. It's loud over there. Clear found DTCs. Light just went off. Lights I am going to have are the maintenance required, which is the change your oil idiot light, which I cannot clear because you clear it by pushing and holding the trip button, and the trip button always goes bad. I need to take my cluster out and replace that little micro switch. So kind of annoying. There's some soldering required. I'm not here for it. I'll do that at some point. Like, yeah, you just, that's also how you switch between trip A and trip B, which I just straight up cannot do. And then I'm going to have the SRS light because this thing has a leaky A-pillar, which sets off the pretensioner error. So I'll have to fix that someday as well. But for now, let's just go ahead and fire this thing up. Okay. Let it run for a little bit and see if we have any oil leaks from the VVT actuator. And then we'll also see if this sets a pending, it's not going to set the light until I do a few drive cycles, but it should set a pending code for the PO420 if it is still upset about that. And I think, so the check for the VVT to make sure that it's actuating properly is to hold the engine above 4,000 RPM for 3 seconds. I don't know if that has to be under load or not though. I'm not sure if the VVT will actuate in neutral, but we'll give that a shot too. If it's bad, the check engine light will illuminate instantly according to the service manual. So I guess I'm going to get out and take a look at that there spool valve. I'm not seeing any obvious fresh leaks. And this engine is shaking a lot less now with the new motor mount. It used to be absolutely crazy. Of course, this is a 3-cylinder, so they're not super balanced. I'm not seeing any leaks there. We're getting some smoke off the back, but that's just gonna happen. Nothing pending yet. Nice. Well, no check engine light, but we're in the rain-pocalypse here right now. Oh my gosh. The inadequacies of my headlights are becoming very apparent. Okay, let's go over 4. That seems good. I'm not going to go much faster though because I can't see a damn thing. Cool. This is good. The car is driving smooth as heck though. Okay, I got him with the phone now. This is the bit much. Oh, the road heading to my house is completely flooded. This isn't good. Oh man. I just got a flash flood warning on my car. Oh shit, this is deep. I'm counting on you, Ford Focus. Show me the way. Don't stop. Man, this thing does drive so much better though.